Erev Tov, everyone. In our discussion regarding Moshe Rabbeinu, we left one unanswered question last night that had to do that, according to the opinion in the Medrash, that Moshe has killed the Egyptian with the Shem Amphorosh. The question is, how did Moshe know the Shem Amphorosh? Because Moshe, the Chumash at least, the first revelation we find that Moshe had is 60 years later when he is shepherd with Yisro. And so most of the Mepharshim say that is simply the reason why there were two other opinions in that Medrash that said that he did not slay him with the Shem HaMephorosh, but either he killed him with the bricks that the Jews were manufacturing, or he killed him with a spade, with a shovel that was used for the shoveling the lime and the cement, etc. But according to the Mandi Omar, that says that he did slay him with the Shem Amphorosh, so what does he say? So there are many, many answers, but I don't like to give answers that I don't like. If it's to me, it's not an answer, then why should I give it, I'm a student of my great teachers in the yeshiva who said a good kasha is better than a poor answer. And if we don't have an answer, then leave it lie there, and the question's a good question. There is, however, one answer that did appeal to me. The Gemara says, it's also a Medrash, that when the Rabbanu Shalom appears to Moshe at the sneh, the burning bush, what does Moshe hear? So he hears that someone calls him Moshe. So the Medrash says that he heard it Bekolo Shel Amram. He heard it with the voice of his father. I mean, the metaphor there is beautiful. I mean, God always speaks to us the voice of our parents and our ancestors and the tradition. But the simple answer is that he spoke to him in the voice of Amram. So where did Moshe hear Amram? So most Mepharshim say that Moshe, for the first 3, and there's an opinion even for the first 6 years of his life, was raised and nursed by his mother Yocheved and by his father Amram. And it is possible, therefore, in that period of time, that he was informed of the Shem Amphorosh, and therefore, when he went out to see his brothers and saw the Egyptian abusing the Jew, he used it to kill him. So I don't know if that'll make you happy, but one of the main tasks of a rabbi is not to make you happy. So we'll leave it at that. But regarding the first years of Moshe, really is mysterious. The Chumash doesn't tell us anything. We don't see Moshe till he's 80 years old. And if the Chumash does tell us something, strange things, it doesn't say that Moshe meditated for 50 years, or that he thought about it, or that he had revelations. There are all sorts of midrashim that Moshe was a king in Africa somewhere. So there are two stories about Moshe that do appear in the Chumash. The first one is the one we discussed, that Moshe kills the Egyptian. Now, I don't know whether we want to put that, if we were handing in a resume to be the greatest prophet in the world, whether we would say, I'm a murderer, I killed somebody. But the Chumash says it. And then the second story that we have is that Moshe defends the daughters of Yisrael against the shepherds of Midian. Why does the Torah tell us those stories? Why doesn't the Torah tell us something grand and spiritual and inspiring? And Moshe is almost a ruffian from all these stories that are told about him. And that was the complaint of Dasan Va'avira. Halo hargeini ata omer. Kasher arakta samitri, you're going to be my judge? You're a murderer. You're going to tell me what's right and wrong? So we see a pattern here, starting with the Avos. Apparently, in order to be a great spiritual person and to be a leader of Klal Yisrael, one has to be willing to sacrifice everything. So we find by Avram Avinu, he broke his father's idols. Nimrod throws him into the furnace. Has to be saved from Ur Kasdim. To save his nephew Lot, he has to go to war against the kings. All of those things seem to be out of character. Chesed l'Avraham. Avraham is a nice guy. He got an open tent, 3 meals a day, prays for his dome. But what made Avraham Avinu was that he was willing to do everything and sacrifice himself for the ideal that he possessed. So we come to Yitzchak. So Yitzchak is on the Mizbeach. He's the Nekad in the Akedah. That's how he becomes Yitzchak Avinu. And now we come to Yaakov. So we find by Yaakov, he wrestles with the angel. We find that he's prepared to do war with Esau, if necessary. And the posuk, Shelokachti, Miyado Amori, Becharbi, Uvekashti. So we all like to use the Midrashic interpretation that Rashi said, but that the Medrash says that Targum Onkelos, that Becharbi Bekashti refers to prayer. But again, she refers to swords and archery and arrows. And the Rabbeinu Tam, in his commentary in Sefer HaYosher, says that there were kama v'kama milchamot. There were a number of wars that took place after Shimon and Levi destroyed Shechem. The PLO didn't sit quiet, and that they had to fight. So B'charbi v'kashti is absolutely literal. And then we find that Moshe fights to destroy the Egyptian taskmaster. And then why, when the Jewish people leave Egypt and Amalek comes to contest them, so Vayomer Moshe al Yoshua. Now Yeshua is the London. Yeshua is the Arlo Yomish B'tol Ha'olel. You sit here learning all day. He's the alter ego of Moshe, so to speak. Because you're going to be the leader of the Jewish people, so you have to prove it. No risk, no gain. And you see that throughout Tanakh, all of the Shoftim. And David HaMelech, Shaul HaMelech, and later times the Hashmonaim, all were people that they became the leaders of the people, but literally with Mesiras Nefesh, risking everything. So that, so to speak, is a pattern that we find in the long exile of the Jewish people. We have had many martyrs. But martyrdom does not necessarily guarantee leadership. Leadership are those that survive, not those that died. So there is this stream of thought in Chazal, in the Midrashim, and in the ideas of the Meforshim. And the Tzivs talks about it, and Hamik Dover, and Meir Simcha alludes to it, the Meshech Chochmah, that the Torah wants to tell us that we have to know what he risked. If we know what he risked, then we know how he becomes Moshe. We know Kaviyachol, why heaven chose him, revealed to him, made him Pe'adaber. And therefore that should become a template for everyone to understand. I heard somebody came by Moshe Feinstein. So he said to him, he said to the Rav, he said, Rebbe, it's schwer zu sein a Yid. It's hard to be Jewish. It's true. It's hard to be Jewish. So Rabbi Feinstein told him, aber es ist noch schwerer nicht zu sein a Yid. It's harder not to be a Jew. It's going to be hard anyway. Without it being hard, it doesn't exist. And that's what Chazal said on the Pasuk Adam La'omal Yulad, that a person is born to toil, to aggravation, to frustration, to traffic lights that don't change. Ashrei mi shamola b'Torah. If someone here finds that his omo has purpose, so then, yes, it's hard, but it's better than how hard it would be if he didn't have that purpose. And that's something that we should always bear in mind, especially we who are privileged to live here in Eretz Yisrael. So Eretz Yisrael today is easy. It really is. First world, whatever you want. But people tell me, it's hard to live in Eretz Yisrael. So I'm always reminded that it's hard to live, yes. There's a purpose. Just living here is a purpose. So Ashrei mi shamola b'Torah. And that is something that we should keep in mind and transmit it to others, especially to our generations, so that they see what the secret of Jewish leadership is and how we have survived and triumphed until today. Rabbi Hanania ben Akashi Omer HaKadosh Baruch Hu L'Zakam says Yisrael, L'ficha chivu lehem Torah and mitzvot, shene'emar, Adonai chafetz amam tzidko yavdil Torah v'yadil.